Oh, that worked out nicely. Okay. Jeff, are we live? Okay. To everyone in the hall and everyone joining us on Zoom, today is Tuesday, July 7th. It being 7:05, I'd like to welcome you to this informational session, which we've entitled Reopening Clinton, to be an overview of the Reopening Massachusetts plan, how it is implemented here in Clinton, the responsibilities and resources available to business owners, and to your questions. So with that, we might as well get right in. So we knew with the clicker. We have a couple people here assembled to can you hear me that well? You can't hear me at all. Okay. Jeff, you're gonna have to adjust the volume on the mic, I think. We're speaking to two audiences here. We have a group of people here tonight to present some information to you, to go over some things, and to hear your questions. I'm Phil Duffy. I'm the town's Community and Economic Development Director. And in that position, I work on projects that are intended to support economic activity and the quality of life that residents enjoy. We're also joined by representatives of Clinton's Business Association, Discover Clinton. Lauren Nanoff and Kelly Salwa will speak to you briefly about the organization. And Bill Spencer will speak a little later about some of the assistance programs that and support programs that Discover Clinton is putting in place. Attending this meeting as well, maybe participating in the answering of questions later, are Ed DeVault and Chairman Sean Kerrigan of the Board of Selectmen, and Tom Bonsi from the Board of Health will be joining us a little later. All right, can you guys hear me now, by the way? Okay. Our topics tonight are four. We'll give a brief overview of the Reopening Massachusetts plan. We'll give a brief description of reopening in Clinton, talk a little bit about responsibilities that go to business owners and your engagement with the town and Discover Clinton. We'll talk about supports that are in place or being put in place for local businesses. And we have time for questions and answers at the end of the session. This should be a pretty quick session. And again, the tone will be very informal. Okay, briefly, let's talk about the Reopening Massachusetts plan. As many of you know, on March 10th, Governor Baker declared a state of emergency in Massachusetts because of the coronavirus pandemic. What followed was a stay-at-home order and the shuttering of many businesses deemed not essential. On May 18th, the Baker administration unrolled its Reopening Massachusetts plan, which provides guidelines and timelines for the reopening of businesses and activities in Massachusetts. In summary, it breaks down into 4 phases. The first phase, which was initiated on May 25th, is called the start phase. We're on March, and I'm just rehashing a history that you all know. In phase 1, a certain just prescribed number of businesses opened up under severe restrictions in terms of occupancy and hours and obligations to clean and disinfect. On June 8th, phase 2, which is labeled the cautious phase, was opened. Additional industries, including restaurants and retail stores, were allowed to open at that time. Notably at that time, in step 1 of phase 2, restaurants were only allowed outside dining. Retail establishments and other places open to the public operated with, again, limited capacities. Many businesses opted to offer under limited hours. Just yesterday, phase 3, which is called the vigilant phase, opened up. We're starting to see the opening of the economy to activities and businesses that cater to slightly larger crowds. There are still severe limitations in place. And then phase 4, which is out somewhere in the future, it's called the new normal. It's likely that we will have to depend on the development of vaccines and treatments to get into that phase where we identify a new normal. You can see that between phases 1 and 3, it was roughly a lapse of 3 weeks between the opening of each phase. As you are aware, the data in Massachusetts in terms of the spread of the virus is encouraging at the moment. But as we all know from the examples being set by other states around the country, that can change. So this is not a linear process by definition. The administration has emphasized always that they will be guided by the health statistics in terms of this opening. put in place for all businesses are what are mandatory safety standards. And you're all familiar with these. They have to do with social distancing, hygiene protocols, staffing and operations procedures, and cleaning and disinfecting. All this information can be found on the mass.gov's Reopening Massachusetts website. It's actually a treasure trove of information, both for the general public and for businesses. And for each business, there are sector-specific protocols and best practices, and it is the responsibility of every business person to acquaint themselves with these and demonstrate through a series of checklists and plans that they are acquainted with these protocols and guidelines. This happens to be the protocols for, I think, personal services, close personal services. This is things like nail salons, massage parlors, that kind of thing. Every sector will have workplace safety standards, which will be a list of specific recommendations for that industry. There'll be a written summary, normally on the order of 5 to 6 pages of those same, and each industry will provide a checklist. And what you do is you go through that checklist, sign it at the bottom, and it is available for customers or for Board of Health people when they come in, if they come in, you are self-certifying that you are complying with the requirements of the reopening plan. There's a couple examples of things that have, in phase 2, there was a lot of confusion around restaurants and the reopening of those. You know, restaurants open in 2 steps, first with outdoor dining only, and then with limited indoor seating and outdoor seating as well. One of the critical questions that was asked is, what is a restaurant under the reopening plan? And the Executive Order 35 and the plan define a restaurant as an establishment that provides seated food service that is prepared on-site under a retail food permit issued by a municipal authority. So the critical things there are seated dining, on-premises preparation of the food, and under a retail food permit. In order to obtain a retail food permit, you need to demonstrate that your facility is meeting all the requirements of the sanitary code and that your staff is food safety certified. And under outdoor dining, under the state's plan and under our local adoption of those plans, our local interpretation of those plans, there are streamlined procedures for outdoor service, including food and beverage. There are provisions in the plan for the amendment of liquor licenses to allow for premises to extend beyond the walls of the building. Those are very streamlined procedures. The town is allowing the use of the public way to any business that wishes to social distance and use the sidewalk and even parking areas. There's an application process to the town. We're happy to help businesses in that respect. And then on, I think it was June 25th, when we went to indoor dining, there are again mandatory safety requirements that must be in place. And if you've been to a restaurant, you know that there are limited occupancy, that social distancing is probably the most profound impact on restaurant operation right now. Although the restaurants can be inside, there is still the obligation that you observe the mandatory safety requirements. In phase 3, which is opening as of yesterday, as I mentioned, it's a cautious approach to more social activities. So in our town, gyms, theaters, museums, close contact personal services, these businesses all now have the opportunity to open under the mandatory safety requirements and their sector guidelines. There is a slight expansion of capacity and allowance. You know, there youth outdoor activities can begin, but there's a limit on the number of people who can be outdoors at an event. Currently it's 100. And indoor events are limited to the smaller of 8 people per 1,000 square feet or a maximum of 25 at this moment, at this juncture. It's likely, as we saw in phase 2, that phase 3 may proceed in steps. And if the data continues to be encouraging, that we will see a slight relaxation of some of those limits, but these are the ones that are in place as of today. So what does that mean for local businesses? The Reopening Massachusetts plan places the primary responsibility for reopening on the business owner. Compliance with the requirements of the reopening plan are in the first instance self-certifying. It's up to you to read and attest that you are following the guidelines. So what are the requirements? First of all, that you acquaint yourself with your specific sector's guidelines and protocols and that you observe all the mandatory workplace safety standards. Those, again, having to do with social distancing, hygiene, and worker safety, and disinfecting. You need to make a plan. There's a required COVID-19 control plan that you can build off of the templates that's available on the state website. You don't need to make this up out of whole cloth. They provide you all the mechanicals of that plan, but you have to undertake that plan and, again, certify that you were following it. And then you need to communicate that you put these plans in place. Every business is required to post an attestation poster, which bears your signature, that certifies to your customers that you are following the requirements of the Reopening Massachusetts plan, and you're required to communicate that plan to your employees and workers. But again, I want to emphasize that in the first instance, it's up to the business owner to undertake these measures. As you reopen, you may interact at times with the municipality or certain entities of it, primarily the Board of Health. The Board of Health is charged under the plan with the overseeing townwide compliance with not just the Reopening Massachusetts plan, but all of the measures connected to the declared state of emergency in Massachusetts. The Board of Health does not go out looking for trouble. The Board of Health responds to complaints. If their complaint is registered with the Board of Health, they will investigate. And our experience over the last few weeks has shown that if you're not in compliance, there will be complaints. So they will go out and investigate, and if an infraction is found to be in place, there will be an escalating number of warnings and eventually fines that you may be exposed to. First, there will be a verbal warning, and then a written warning, which is submitted to the Mass DPH, and then from there, your first finable offense is a $300 fine. From what I understand, your second offense is a $500 fine. Your third is an $800 fine, and so forth, till you get to the point where your ability to operate your business may be in jeopardy. Hopefully, no one would get there, but that is a brief description of the compliance measures that are in place at our local level. You may interact with the Select Board. The Select Board, through my office, has put in a couple of programs and procedures to assist businesses, which we'll talk about some of our assistance programs a little later. Again, if you want to amend your liquor permit or any other license that you receive from the state, if the state delegates responsibility for review and amendment to the municipality, we will work with you to amend your licenses to put you in a good place to do business. If you are using the public way, we can provide you not only the permission to use that public way, but we can also provide you equipment in terms of bollards and blockades so that people can be safe on the sidewalks and the streets. Again, we have loans, we have business financial support programs in place, and we have published a Back to Business Toolkit, which is here at the front of the room and is online on the town website. And that is a very useful compendium of all the links that you will find useful in opening your business and finding the information you need to do that, as well as links to local contacts and local support and assistance programs. And if you happen to be amending your premises in order to bring your business into compliance with the requirements of the plan, you may interact with the fire department and with the building inspector. If you're erecting a tent, for instance, you would have to see the building inspector if that tent was over, I think, 300 square feet. I may have that wrong. If you were altering your kitchen to bring your business, your facility into compliance, you probably would have to go to the fire department as well as the Board of Health and the building inspector. Can you guys hear me okay? I apologize, I talk too fast and too softly. So that's basically your interaction with the municipality. Right now, I'd like to invite Kerry Sala and Lauren Nanoff from Discover Clinton to come up and give you a brief overview of our town's business association and some of what they're doing at this time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Crossman-Nanoff, and I'm the president of Discover Clinton, as well as a small business owner in town. Discover Clinton is a registered 501(c) nonprofit, all-volunteer group who's committed to taking action, making connections, and providing resources. The Discover Clinton's committee's goal is to increase economic growth by promoting the great dining, shopping, arts, culture, and recreation here in Clinton. Our focus is to highlight local businesses to residents and visitors, create events that bring people into business establishments, and build a strong community base that continues to support you year after year. We want to get people excited about coming to Clinton and keep them coming back. Just as of February, our articles were reestablished and the committee was revived. We've been working really hard through COVID-19 meeting restrictions to continue our committee's goal of being a resource for Clinton businesses. We believe in this community and we want to see our businesses succeed. With that being said, as business owners ourselves, we appreciate what you have been through, what you continue to navigate through, and we hope that you can lean on us moving forward as Clinton's Business Association. Since February, we were held together by our board and the two subcommittees we managed to establish before COVID, the Marketing and the Community Outreach Committee. We started by creating a running list of restaurant updates, created a social media platform, started a website to serve as a community resource and a business directory for the town, hosted COVID conversation interviews with local business owners, multiple Signs of Hope fundraisers, a t-shirt project which started a community-wide movement to support local businesses, and we are in the process of rolling out a recovery loan program, which our treasurer, Phil Spencer, will speak to later in the program.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Salwa, and I'm the Vice President of Discover Clinton. Just wanted to thank Phil and the town of Clinton for having us here to be part of this evening. And we're very grateful for Lauren for resurrecting Discover Clinton. And we have, want to know we have high hopes for this organization. We have a long list of goals and objectives. We have a really strong and supportive board of directors that we're very grateful for. And I'm here tonight to tell you that we're planning our Discover Clinton kickoff. And we're hoping to have it on August 20th with accordance to social distance, of course. And if you're not already connected to us, please do so by visiting our website, which is www.discoverclintonma.com, and clicking on the Join Discover Clinton button. You can find this, this will lead you to our business contact form, which will add you to our list of running businesses. And then we'll keep you updated on and informed on all the business assistance and events moving forward. Thank you.
All right. By the way, I figured it out. This is a terrible room when it's not full of people. You know, we're being done in by great architecture right now. That's why it's so hard to hear. Yeah, I wish I had one. Speak to the room. Okay, so let's talk a little about some of the supports that are put in place. Some of these are financial, some of them are technical, and these by no means exhaust the list. This is just a list of resources that are specifically local. In the toolkit, if you want to find it online, you will find links to some regional supports that are being put in place by the North Central Mass Development Corporation. Again, you'll find links to Discover Clinton stuff. You'll find links to the Commonwealth's technical assistance programs, and leave alone the wide array of financial assistance programs that are available through the federal government, including the PPP, which has been extended to August 8th, the EIDL, and other programs, which we hope to have another session to talk about next month. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is this brand new thing we created, which is the toolkit, which you can see here with Cindy Cannon on the cover, which again is just a document that aggregates a lot of the contact information and puts it in one convenient place for you so that as you move forward, you can find the information that you need more quickly. It includes, again, description of the state's procedures, a brief summary of how we're doing things in town, links to important state information, links to local contacts, and links to local programs. The town currently has 2 financial assistance programs in place. One is a loan program and one is a grant program. The first one is a loan program that has been running since the middle of April, I believe. It is our Small Business Resiliency Loan Program funded by the town at the behest of the Board of Selectmen. It makes loans of up to $5,000 available to local businesses to address fixed business costs and limited loss of sales for a period that begins March 12th or March 10th, which is the declaration of the state of emergency, up to June 30th. This has been extended by the Board of Selectmen at one of the most recent meetings. It now includes all businesses in town where the business is the owner's primary source of income. A request for additional funding can be considered on a case-by-case basis. Currently, the interest rate is 3% simple interest, and all interest and all payments and interest are suspended for 12 months after the close of the state of emergency or till October 31st of 2021. And business owners can choose their own terms from between 1 and 4 years. The town is anxious to assist businesses in any way it can. So these are very easy terms. And if the terms become onerous, we're happy to have a discussion with you in the future about extending them. This program is being put in place to better ensure that your business will still be here as we get towards the end of this. The link to the application and information is there on this screen. It's also in the guidebook. It can be found on the Clinton, Mass website by going to the economic development page. You can also contact me via email or telephone. I'd be happy to answer any questions about the program. So far, I think it's been a successful program. To date, the program has made 21 loans. It's assisted 21 businesses. And that support is being made in support of 61 full-time and 82 part-time jobs. So if this is an effective use of the town's resources, it will have been an extraordinarily effective use of the town's resources. New program, up online today. Clinton's Micro Enterprise Stabilization Program. This is a grant program funded by a community developed block grant that will provide up to $15,000 as a grant to qualifying businesses. Typical award will more likely be in the range of $10,000. This is a program made under guidelines established by the Department of Housing and Urban Development many years ago, and it is to assist a certain kind of business, certain category of business that is known as a micro enterprise. Micro enterprise is a business of 5 or fewer employees, where at least one of the owners is also an employee, and the owner's family income is less than 80% of area-wide median income. On the website and in the guidelines, there's a table that indicates what your qualifying income would be. It's based on the size of your family. If you look at it and you qualify and your business otherwise qualifies with 5 employees at the time of application, we encourage you to submit an application. We will keep applications open until July 30th. And then depending on how many applications we receive, we'll go directly into processing them, or we will hold a lottery to determine the order in which we process those applications. The town has applied for an additional $50,000 of funding from this source. So we hope that the total pool of money available in this program will ultimately be $150,000. Currently, we have $100,000 available in this as direct grants in this program. Assistance is for up to 4 months of normal operating costs. Businesses have to demonstrate that they have had a loss of business over a 6-month period of at least 50%. Ideally, you will compare the first 6 months of 2020 to 2019 to verify that. And a portion of the grant can be used for technical assistance, including assistance in applying for other funds, or assistance to transition your business to other platforms or to pivot to other forms of production to better ensure the long-term livelihood of your business. So that if you're going to develop a meaningful online presence, for instance, and you need assistance in doing that, a portion of the grant could be used for that. If you're going to retool your business to another market, a portion of the grant can be used for that. So again, the link is here on the screen. It's also in the toolkit and on the web page. If this is a program that is interesting to you, again, it is a grant program. I encourage you to see what you can find. And additionally, Discover Clinton has talked about putting financial assistance programs in place. I invite Bill Spencer up to tell you a little bit about that.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry about that. We have been donated the first round of donations from the Langton family, and we are putting those funds aside to roll out a relief loan fund for our local business owners. Our goal is to get those funds. Is this, no? Okay, sorry about that. We received our donation from the Langton family. Our goal is to get those funds out to you guys in early August. We're partnering with Clinton Savings Bank, who is going to service the portfolio for us. But most importantly, it's just getting those dollars out to you to offset the PPE sanitation costs that you might have incurred or will likely incur in the coming months, or use the cash as capital to open the doors, get yourself up, pay rent or anything like that. Our flexible repayment terms, we're also looking into the grant funding option to help get you guys going again. The goal is to keep you guys up above water, but most importantly, just get you going again. Like I said, early August is when we're teeing that up. If you haven't done so already, please visit our website, because that's where it will be entirely online. So please register your business, add your contact information, because we will be doing a direct mail out through our online portal. The application will be similar to the Resiliency Loan Fund that Phil launched in April, I believe. And similar process, similar documentations that will be required for that. But most importantly, we're teeing it up for early August for you guys. Like Phil mentioned, there are other programs. North Central Chamber of Commerce I believe, has a couple loan programs online. The PPP loan program has been extended by another 5 weeks, sorry. And the EDIL loan program is available for you guys as well. If you have any questions, Lauren and I monitor the Discover Clinton mailbox. So if you would like to drop a note, and we can put you in contact with a banker in the area, an accountant, as we're approaching the forgiveness period, we can certainly do so for you guys. And that's it.
So I'm just going to reiterate a couple things that Bill said. Discover Clinton has received a donation from a family interested in supporting local businesses. They intend to have a program out in the first part of August to make available to local businesses. The guidelines and parameters of that program are still being established. Bill also mentioned that there are other off-the-shelf products available from the Chamber and from the federal government. If you are interested in applying for the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which is a portion of which is forgivable. If you are interested in applying for the PPP, a portion of the Payroll Protection Program, a portion of which is forgivable, and you need technical assistance to do that, please contact my office. We have an arrangement with the New View Communities in Fitchburg to provide technical assistance to local businesses who may need assistance in making an attractive application to other funding sources. So that is another resource that is available to local businesses through the town that isn't pulled out in this slideshow. But again, that's another thing. If you need some assistance in filling out your paperwork, give us a call. I won't do it, but I'll point you in the direction of people who will. And we'll pay them for it. So that's good. Okay. So in short, I think that is pretty much what I wanted to go over. It was a very quick.
Hey, Phil, before you get into the question
Yeah.
and answer segment, I just want to say real quick, so that microphone is set up for the Zoom remote meeting for the people that are remotely viewing through the computer. That's the audio for that. I think we thought we could get by with just regular vocals. I think I could hear most of everything.
Okay.
But I think if we do this again, maybe for like phase 4 or something, we'll make sure that in addition, we'll also have a microphone to project out into the room. If there is any portions of this that you were having a tough time hearing, just know that this meeting is recorded. It's going to be put up on the Clinton YouTube channel. So you can go to that segment if you had difficulty hearing it, just to make sure that you caught everything that the presenters were saying. Okay. Just wanted to say that.
Thanks. Thank you, Ed. Okay. So in effect, I think that's all we wanted to do, was have a very brief overview. I'm sure that for many of you who are business people, this is information you were already acquainted with. We just wanted to kind of bring it all together to highlight some of the resources that are available, perhaps to those who don't know about them, and to hear your questions. This is, as we all know, this is an imperfect process we're all moving through. We're all making adjustments on the fly. It's been remarkable in how, as things transpire and progress during this state of emergency, it seems we're always rushing around to solve the problem that was the last problem, you know, because there's always a new problem in front of you. So I just want to reiterate that I'm Phil Duffy. I'm the town's Community and Economic Development Director. My contact information is here. Many of you already know me and already know how to get a hold of me. Discover Clinton's contact information is also up there. And with that, I'd welcome any questions or concerns or observations that anyone would wish to make. If you are going to make them through Zoom, I ask that you maybe make them in the chat, and we can read them out to the room so they can be read back in to the audience in the auditorium, as well as the people on the Zoom platform. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Yep. It's based on family income, which to the best of our understanding is construed to be the nuclear family. So it is based on the total income of wages in the family, and that is average of the total number of persons in the household, including children. So if you are single and living alone, you will have one number that qualifies you. I think it actually is 46,000. If you are a family of 8, you will have a very different number. Yes?
What if you're an organization and you don't have?
I'm not sure that you could you would be eligible for the micro enterprise loan. The town has made one resiliency loan to a fraternal organization to support the business end of the organization. To be honest, we'd have to find out. To be honest, I would have to find out if, first of all, if your organization qualified because of the employment requirement, and secondly, yeah, who would be the owner? Like, I guess you probably wouldn't qualify under the micro enterprise, but you do qualify for the resiliency loan. It depends on who the lender is. I can tell you that the resiliency loans are secured by a personal guarantee, or in the instance where the owner is a limited liability corporation or sole proprietor, it is secured against the corporation by a note. These are small loans. I want to emphasize within the bounds of due regard for public money, we are not extending these funds now so that we can harass you out of business later. If you're open, we will work with you to. Mhm. Yeah. I can appreciate that. I certainly can appreciate that, and I wish I had an answer for you, Teresa, but I don't. I don't. There is a grant program as well. That is a grant. It's not, that doesn't require, it does not obligate to be paid back. Hopefully we'll leave some other assistance programs in place to help businesses that are opening up, but the program that the town has established is a low interest deferred payment loan program.
Go back to the micro enterprise business, that's based on your previous tax return, or how you determine the family's income?
Yeah, principally the tax return. There is an income verification process that is fairly rigorous that we'll go through. I should say the question was how do you determine the family income for the micro enterprise program? And there is a review process during the application. Where you'll be asked to submit bank statements, tax returns, sufficient information to demonstrate that your income qualifies. And those are reviewed by a consultant who's hired by the town, who's experienced in programs like this. Obviously, all the information is confidential, but there is a meaningful review process in place. I should say the resiliency loan program that's run by the town has a much lighter underwriting load. Again, our intention is to demonstrate faith and confidence in the businesses in town that are demonstrating faith and confidence in themselves, and to help people get to the next stage. Sunrise expresses its thanks for the assistance, and we express thanks to Cindy Cannon for being the cover girl on the toolkit. Just happened to be a photo that was there. And Becky Gray says thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? If questions arise, you all know my email. You can certainly reach out to me, the Board of Health, with any questions having to do with your compliance with the plan. The Board of Health is happy to advise, although it's kind of a limited liability advisement, but again, we'd like to do what we can to ensure that we're all here when this is closer to being over. And if there are no more questions, I'm going to close the meeting. No, yeah. Okay. Well, let's yeah. Let's talk after the meeting, Teresa, because I'm not entirely privy to the facts of your application. Yes. Oh, the question was the question about procedures. A person in the audience, an owner of a downtown business, said she submitted a plan, presumably to the Board of Health. Teresa, to whom did you submit the plan? Submitted a plan to the Board of Health. Okay. Remarking that she felt she hadn't gotten sufficient feedback on the application. The application was denied, and you're not satisfied with the feedback you've gotten. Okay. 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 Well, I'd be happy to speak with you after. I'd be happy to speak with you after to see what we can do, if anything. Anyone? Can a business refuse a person without a mask? Can a business refuse entry to a person who is not wearing a mask? I don't think I'm qualified to answer that question. That seems to be a question of a legal nature, and I'm sorry to be skirting it, but I don't think I'm qualified to give Cindy a reliable answer on that. But I'd be happy to ask town council if there's been any established thinking on that question. Anyone else? You know, I really want to thank you all for coming out on a hot night. I want to thank you all for attending on Zoom. And I want to thank you all for sitting in a room where you can barely hear. But it's good to see many people, and look forward to seeing you again. And we hope to do this again in a month with an update, hopefully with more encouraging news, and we'll maybe talk about some other assistance and support programs that are in development now. So with that, Jeff, we'll close the meeting. Great. Thank you, everyone.